Yo, what's good, man? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I want to show you guys how I created the lighting setups for this music video. Now, I'm going to go through in depth talking about the specific lights that I used, the modifiers that I used, where I placed the lights, and kind of my philosophy on why I placed the lights the way I did. Now, I don't really want you guys to pay attention to the specific lights because it's so many different alternatives that you can use in terms of lights. Just pay attention to where the lights are placed and the philosophy behind them, and I'll also link you guys to a couple of my own personal videos where I show you guys the alternatives to the professional lights that I'm going to be using in this actual music video. Now, I got a couple frames that I'm going to show you guys on the screen. I'm going to draw over these frames, and then I'm also going to, place the actual footage from the music video over top of me talking. So let's get straight into it, man. This first frame that we're going to be looking at is from the main scene from the music video. All right. We got the artist right here. He's separated using a blue overhead light, and then we have this cool little circle design in the background. And yeah, let's get straight into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the key light, the light that is lighting the subject of the video, the artist. Now, for this specific light right here, this blue light that you see spilling all over the artist, I used the Aperture Nova P300C, such a hard light to pronounce. I used the Nova P300C, and the reason why I decided to use this light for this shot is because it's RGB. I appreciate RGB lights a lot because I don't have to use gels and skips out on all the tape and all the hassle that comes with using gels. All right, this light is incredible, but it's super expensive, so keep in mind if you need to use a different light that is a lot less expensive, you can just get gels. I dropped a video a couple years ago when me and C. Ryan, we went to a local craft store and we picked up some plastic. And I use this plastic all the time. It's like $5. You can get pretty much any color of it. If you need to increase the intensity of the color output, all you have to do is just basically fold over the plastic and tape it to the light. If you're using a light that gets hot, keep in mind it could melt, but with these LEDs like the Apertures and the Godox and all of the other lights that are coming out that are affordable to us, if you place these in a softbox, they won't melt. All right, so just click on the link up above if you want to check that out, find an alternative to this. And for the Nova P300C, we have this right off a frame to the right over here. And it's basically just boomed above the subject of our head. And if I just kind of color this in, it would look something like this, placed right over top of him. And then we have the light spilling down. And if you notice, it's only hitting him. It's not hitting the background at all. Now, the way that I did this is, one, I separated the subject from the background a little bit. You want to pull your subject away from the background if you don't want spill as much as you can, but to greater increase the effectiveness of not getting spill on the background, you can use a grid. A grid is just that little honeycomb looking thing that you see inside of lights. And basically what this does is it helps you direction the light to a specific place, and it gets a lot less spill in the other places. So we have the Nova P300C just boom right off to the right of the subject, and it's just shining straight down on him. And I just basically switched the hue over to a blue color. Super simple, nothing over the top. You can do this with pretty much any light, all right? It doesn't have to be a huge light. You can do like a little aperture light, like the little small ones, like the, what are they? The MCs. MC is possible to create a light and stuff like this. All right, it's just boom right over top of his head. Now, if you pay attention, we're getting a lot of like kind of flaring right here, over here in this little area. We also see a little bit of this flaring over here in this area as well. This is all done using an effect in camera. I used an overlay, a glass overlay. The specific one that we used, I believe, is from Cinepacks, something C. Ron's using. But you can replicate this effect with pretty much anything that's glass. Like I've done this with wine glasses. I've done this with water bottles. I've done this with glasses. It really doesn't matter. Just get a piece of glass, something that is translucent. And as long as your aperture is low enough that you won't specifically see this object moving in front of the camera, this will work. All right, so a lot of this flaring right here is just artificial. It's all coming from us using this Cinepacks overlay, glass overlay. Now the backlight that we're seeing in the scene right here, a lot of people were asking about this. I just posted some photos over my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me there. Shameless plug. Now, this backlight right here is being created using the Aperture Spotlight mount. Now, the dope thing about the Spotlight mount is I've used it in numerous other music videos, but it allows you to get hard shapes with very sharp lines. All right, so if you want to get like a circle, you want to get a triangle, or you want to get like the shape of blinds. Like these are all things that are possible using the spotlight mount. So we use the spotlight mount by Aperture, and I basically just opened the lens all the way up and I sharpened the shape on the background. And the light that we're using inside of the spotlight mount is the Aperture 300X. I love this light because it's bicolor, and the fact that I used this blue light right here as our key light on our subject, I was able to switch the temperature of this background light to something that was warmer, around 3200 Kelvin. And it just gave us that instant color separation, that instant color contrast within our scene. And when it came into post color grading and putting together the shot, it was super easy. Basically, all I had to do was shift the hue of the blues to something that I wanted, and shift the hue of the warmer tones to something I wanted. So I went super color contrasty with this one. And all I had to do in post when it came to color grading was basically just add contrast to the shot. So super simple. Like I said, there's alternatives to all this stuff. I'll link up above. I just recently dropped a video about creating filmmaking hacks indoors. If you basically just tape some cardboard to your light, you can create shapes like this. So don't feel the need to purchase the spotlight mount, even though it's great and I totally think it's worth the money. If you don't have the money to replicate this look, you can definitely do it with something that's cheaper. So that's basically the gist of the setup. It's super simple. It's only 2 lights and it looks a lot more complex than it actually is. I like this background light right here, the orange that we're seeing. And one thing that I decided to do to kind of spice this up as well was add a little bit of flash to it. So basically every other frame within the music video edit cut, you see it kind of coming in and then it's going out. And I like that because sometimes the background is completely black and you just see the subject of our shot just kind of standing out, which is really cool. And these are all built-in effects on the Aperture 300X. Like I said, not trying to plug them or anything, but that's just the light. Aperture has plenty of other lights that also do this kind of flashing effect. Let's get into the next one. All right, now this frame right here, I actually want to check out a wider shot of this, a wider frame of the shot. I'll throw up some actual footage from the music video so you guys can see the wider shot. But if you pay attention, the background light that we see right here, that is just kind of spilling off on the wall, it's very shaped. It's not like a wide flood. And to achieve this, I used the spotlight mount again from Aperture. I decided to shape it on the wall in a specific shape because I didn't want the flood. I feel like the flood was just kind of boring. All right, so I created a shape, random shape, sharp edges, and that shape right there and this light right here that we see kind of spilling off on our subject right here, and it's kind of giving them a nice little edge light right there. All of this light right here that we see is all coming from that one light, the Aperture 300X with the spotlight mount. And if we look at like some of our other shots from this same scene, this exact same light is off in the corner. It's basically shining from over this way. This exact same light is lighting him right here. It's lighting him right here. And that one light is lighting both of these people, and it's also creating that shape in the shot. So it's super simple. It's a very harsh light because if I were to add a diffuser to this light, it wouldn't have the sharp edges, which I liked. So I basically just decided to shoot that off to the side and get that far key light on our subject over here. All right, so we shaped that light, basically our key light, and I decided to shoot from the shadow side of the shot. But one other thing that I decided to do to get some more movement and some more interesting looks into this particular scene was add in some flash and tube lights. And these flash and tube lights are from Nanlite, I believe. But I also created a tutorial on how to create tube lights like this that you can just go pick up from Lowe's. So if you want to check that out, just click up above. It'll be up there somewhere. And I've actually replicated this look using those exact same Lowe's lights that I showed you guys how to create in that video that I linked up above. I used it in this music video right here. And just off of camera, I got Tino and I got my wife. They have the lights plugged into like an extension cable, and they're just flickering the lights on and off. And you can get the exact same look at a fraction of the cost if you don't want to go purchase those lights. And if you want to get color into them, all you have to do is wrap those tubes in the $5 gel plastic that I talked about in the other video. So like I said, these looks are replicatable. I don't even know if that was the word. You replicate these looks with cheaper lights. All right, don't feel the need to get the expensive ones we can't afford. With the tubes, we have those mounted just right above our subjects, and I decided to place one over each of the subjects, and you know, they're flashing at a random rate. So every now and then you'll see red come into the frame. and it'll flash, and it's completely random, but it adds a little bit more of an interesting look into the scene that we're looking at right here. That's basically it. That's the whole lighting setup. Throughout some of the performance scenes in the edit, you'll see this really cool effect, and this is also another glass overlay from Cinepacks. You can replicate this look by getting just like a kaleidoscope off of Amazon if you don't have the money to purchase something like this. I don't think this is expensive. Then again, I don't really know what the price is, but it's cool. This is a cool look that we were going for. Creative Ryan wanted to test these out on the set, so we did it, and we came up with some really cool looks. The things that I really like about this kaleidoscope though is I really like if you pay attention right here, you get like a slight RGB split on the edges, which is really cool. I like that color fringing that you get on this, on like these edges right here. It looks tight. So this is the actual shot up here in the right, and then these are the effects from the actual filter. It looks really cool. So that's basically our lighting setup. Super simple. Might look more complex than it actually is, but it's just that same spotlight mount coming in from the side, and me deciding to shoot on the shadow side to get some dramatics and get some depth into the shots. And then we got those tubes over our head kind of flashing. Now the next scene that I want to look at is this scene right here. Now this is a super simple scene. Throughout this music video and throughout the behind the scenes, you guys will see whenever that does this come out, we got a lot of vintage footage. This is from an old school Canon camcorder that Creative Ryan has had for a long time, used it for a lot of stuff. I think he actually lets his son film stuff on it, which is really cool, but I don't know the specific model. I'll make sure to hit him up, and if I do get it, I'll link it down in the description so you guys can check this out if you want to. We used the camcorder to get this vintage effect and this vintage vibe, and in post, I just roughed it up, added some grain to it. I also adjusted the frame rate a little bit so it has like that laggy film look to it. But throughout the edit, you guys can see right here, I got some really cool film burns in the shot too, which kind of add and tie the entire edit together. And I got these film burns from Storyblocks, which is the sponsor of today's video. It's super simple to get this look. All you have to do is go to Storyblocks, search up film burns, download whichever one that you think looks cool, and then you place it over top of the transition of the cut between the two clips. Change that blend mode to screen, and then beyond that, you can adjust the color of the film burn to match it better with the color of the clips that you're gonna be using it on. It's super simple. And like I said, I got these from Storyblocks. And Storyblocks has a ton of different stock footage. It's not just the film burns that I use it for, but I tend to use it a lot for overlays and effects for my music videos, which is pretty tight. So if you're interested in stock footage, you're interested in overlay effects for your music videos or projects, you're interested in sounds, you're interested in an online sequence editor, Storyblocks has all of these things available. And you can access all of these things right now when you sign up for an unlimited plan on the Storyblocks platform. Like I said, you can get all these things at one low price, which you really can't beat. It's gonna be a link down in the description. Make sure you guys go check that out right now if you want to get some film burns to help better tie together your vintage vibe for your videos. If you guys want me to break down any other thing from this music video, I know it's not out yet, but once it does come out, or if you see anything within these clips that I did show you in this video that you want me to further break down, make sure to let me know down in the comment section. Also, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop it a like. It helps the channel out greatly. Greatly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, I make music videos, filmmaking, tutorials, vlogs. It's a lot of random stuff, but if you're here and you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that subscribe button. With that being said, man, I'm out, y'all. Peace.